Toyota haven't exactly been the biggest proponents of EVs over the last decade or so, but the market is shifting, and it's shifting quickly with sales numbers rising and rising. So it was only a matter of time before they hit us with a passenger electric vehicle. This is the Toyota bZ4X. Let's have a good look around it. As you can see, Toyota have taken quite an angular approach to the design. Lots of sharp lines everywhere and harsh creases. You've got this huge big black plastic insert there at the base of the windscreen as that feeds down into the bonnet. Very, very pointy nose at the front with this kind of gloss black material that we're seeing a lot inside and out. A little bit of an air curtain in there, theoretically helping aerodynamics. The big thing that people are talking about, and it's a little bit controversial as well, I haven't made up my mind on it yet, is this trim level. Okay, a little bit of black plastic around the arch, and we've come to expect that in a lot of cars, but this actually continues in one piece all the way down here across the bottom and feeds underneath the headlights just there. Let us know what you think about that. From the side you can see this black plastic trim even better just here, and the car overall does take that quite distinctive SUV shape. Sharp styling again, as you see, and the rear lights just here, and a little bit of a spoiler coming off the back that's just on the edges about there. We're on the 18-inch rims today. They're actually plastic inserts, and as you can see, decent ground clearance just there with this kick plate down the bottom. Stands out a lot with the white car that we have here today, much less so in the darker colours.
Take a moment, enjoy the calm. You could be stuck on the N7 with two teething toddlers. But we don't do stress at the AA. We do roadside rescue, and our trained mechanics fix 8 out of 10 problems at the roadside. Buy online now at theAA.ie. Relax. Yellow and black have got your back.
Around the back, and you could be forgiven for mistaking this for the RAV4, but we've got the bZ4X label just there. Large black plastic trim down the bottom, although that is quite handy for those little bumps that you do get in car parks sometimes. Little bit of a spoiler just here, and as you can see in more detail, the two that come off the roof line just there helps extend out that body colour a little bit. Let's open it up and have a look inside. Quite decent space at 452 litres in there, and with that hatchback styling opening, it's quite a good aperture there. So in terms of getting buggies in or big boxes and bags, very, very easy. And a flat floor, which is very, very handy. A little bit more space underneath. That's where we have our charging cables today. You can obviously take out this little bit of parcel shelf there if you want more space, and fold down the back seats, which are in a 60-40 split. A couple of little tow hooks just there, and a nice light for nighttime when you're trying to load and unload. And with the spec that we have here today, electronic tailgate, or press the other button and it will just lock itself after it closes, and you just walk into your house. Inside the bZ4X, and we feel kind of cocooned really, because you've got this large center console just here. Now there is a good bit of space underneath it. We've got a place to put your phone or your tablet, 2 USB chargers, and a 12 volt 120 watt socket as well. So a nice little bit of storage here. That's thanks to this being the electric drivetrain, so you don't have that transmission tunnel. A lot more space, cup holders in there, and that does slide. It's a lot of gloss back materials, and okay, there's some kind of scratchy plastics around. It's not perfect, but overall I kind of like it. I do like this cloth fabric just there, and a reminder that we've got the sport trim, which is the middle level, and let's face it, most people are going to go for this stage. Plenty of buttons on the steering wheel. There's a lot there actually. I'm not used to having so many buttons and controls there, but you know what, it's nice to have easy access to everything, and it's quite familiar. Nice 12.3-inch infotainment screen just there, and we've got the driver's binnacle just behind it as well. Now, I found that I've had to adjust the steering wheel down a little bit to see it, and then it's a little bit low, but maybe that's just me, something to look out for if you're taking this for a test drive. Decent functionality on the screen just there. Don't feel like they executed it perfectly. There's just some stats, details, functionality. Either you can't, or I haven't been able to find yet what the battery percentage in it. It will give you a little dial just here and your estimated range left, but we know with EVs you don't trust that. It's the battery percentage that you really want to know about. But overall, it's quite nice in here. Yeah. This is where we charge up the Toyota. You can see the cap cut across by that black plastic trim. Type 2 and then CCS combo just underneath it. Now as standard, it comes with 6.6 kilowatts on AC, and that is not disappointing, but just a little bit underwhelming. Although you can option the 11 kilowatts, at least in some markets, but I haven't seen that specified on the Irish website yet. Then on DC, goes up to a tidy 147 kilowatts, which is quite good overall. But just keep in mind that that will only carry up to about 30%, at which stage it goes on a gradual decrease. And then by the time you get to about 75, 80%, you probably won't be getting the full 50 kilowatts at that stage. Okay, here we are just coming off a roundabout. There's a little bit of stretch of road ahead of us, and we are carrying, okay, 35 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to plant my foot. 3, 2, 1. 40, 60, 70, 80. Yeah, that's good power there. So it's a 150 kilowatt motor, 200 horsepower. Now we do not have the all-wheel drive here, and you just get that little bit more traction if you had that, but this is absolutely plenty. Anybody who's used to a 2-litre diesel engine will be very impressed with this. Now it's beaten out there, you know, like the likes of the Model Y long range would easily beat this in terms of power and traction, but this is actually, it's quite good. It's a long roundabout just here. I would take this corner a little bit sharper. Yeah, it doesn't wallow at all. It's quite nicely weighted, and once again that feeling is solid. Could it be a bit sharper? Could the steering be a little bit more pointed? Well, yeah, but this is an SUV, so we're not looking for that kind of a car at all. Yet it is comfortable once you go over those little ramps, and as we go from strong right into the left hand, yeah, it keeps fairly poised. It's a lot easier to do that in these electric vehicles because the battery is down nice and low in that kind of skateboard platform, and it keeps the centre of gravity really, really low. You get much less body roll than you might expect. The bZ4X sits slightly higher as well. That battery pack is tucked down underneath the chairs just here, and quite a decent seating position. I've got the steering wheel a little bit low so that I get good visibility on the driver's binnacle just there, and a decent amount of headspace. Now for a bit of context, I'm 6'2". I have the seat all the way down to the bottom, and I still have about that much headspace. So yeah, quite nice in here. A lot of space in on the left as well, which makes it handy just for stowing things. Let's have a look on the back and see what it's like there. A decent opening at the back of the car just here, so let's fit in, and that is really good space. Now the floor is a little bit high and the bench is slightly low, so I have, yeah, about that much headspace there. And remember, this is set up for 2 people at 6'2", and good knee room just there as well. You don't get that in a lot of cars. Pretty much a flat floor across the back here, making it a lot more comfortable for that central passenger. Got a couple of USB sockets in here, 2 bottle holders, electric windows, magazine pouch, and a center armrest just here with a couple of cup holders and a little tablet holder as well. Would be nice to have a panoramic roof, but no, we're not giving out. It's nice. Let's just talk about range for a moment. Now it's got a 64 kilowatt hour usable battery, so I think you're looking at that kind of 330 to 350 kilometers out of a charge as being kind of real world realistic. Now obviously that's going to be a little bit less if you're barreling down the motorway in winter, but then the WLTP figure is up to 500 kilometers. And if you're really careful with it and you're just pottering around the city, kind of slower urban driving, you will get above 400 and may even challenge 500 out of it. Now that's absolutely not market leading, but if you've got a charger at home and you do the national average driving, you could be looking at just charging it once a week, once a week on the weekend. That might just be it. Now we just collected this Toyota here from a dealership, so thank you very much to Malone's in Drogheda. And while I was there, I pressed them a little bit on price and availability. Now they tell me that they are going to see deliveries in the second half of this year, but how many of those? It's yet to be seen. They're confident on supply, but we've heard that a lot from manufacturers, so fingers crossed they do come in decent numbers. But if you do want to buy one, how much you're going to pay? And I've got the up-to-date pricing just here. So we've got 3 different levels. We've got the bottom, the entry, advanced spec, then there's what we have here today, which is the sport, and then there's the top of the line premium edition. And the prices for the basic one are 47,750 as your entry level price, then 50,750 for what we have here today, and 55,000 euros for the premium edition. Now make of that what you will. Is that good value? Well, that's up to you to decide. I've plugged in Android Auto on my phone here and it just worked seamlessly straight away. And because it's that larger kind of 13-inch screen, it's divided into a couple of different parts. I've got my maps there on the right hand side, which is a good size, I can see everything, but over on the left I've got my podcasts, not playing at the moment of course because I'm talking to you, but the information is there and we can switch back and forth between Toyota's system and Android Auto quite easily. And so okay, here we are on a longer stretch. We're carrying 80 kilometers an hour. I'm going to take my foot off now. Yeah, I can really feel that's down to 70, 65, 60, 55. So there's decent regen there. It's not the strongest I've been in, but it is good. And I do quite like that as well, because it's just one of the great things about driving EVs is that I really only need one pedal. Just makes it a lot easier to drive. We're coming up to a junction just here now. Okay, take my foot off at 70, it's slowing down. Let's see how far this goes. We're down to 45, down to 30. This is handy, there's no one behind us now. Down to 20, 15, 10, and no, it doesn't bring us down to a complete stop. But once you do go down to a stop, it does have auto hold, so it will keep you there. I'm coming around another roundabout here now. Yeah, decent, whoa, decent grip actually as we really go through that corner, straight into hard left. Yeah, keeps poised. I keep coming back to that idea, it just feels comfortable and solid. Am I blown away by it? No, I'm not. I think they possibly could have done a little bit more overall, but just if you think about it in a business sense and then making a case to their customers and getting people into their first EV, they're going to go, oh yeah, Toyota, solid, trustworthy, dependable, and this doesn't do anything badly. It's, as a complete package, they've done a lot better than I think people are giving them credit for. And here we are pulling back into Malone's of Drogheda, who've given us a loan of the car briefly, which is great to get. We're hoping to spend a little bit more time with it once it becomes available on the full press fleet, but it's a really good start for Toyota and our impressions so far, and with a bit of luck we'll get it for a little bit longer in the future. So what do we make of the Toyota bZ4X? Well, do you know what? I've enjoyed my little bit of time with it, but at the same time, I want to be a little bit critical of Toyota, and that's the fact that they've taken so long to bring this to market. Toyota have some of the best engineers in the world. They really have been leaders for decades in many aspects of motoring. And I think I would have liked to seen something like this 4 or 5 years ago, because the market is so competitive now. This is up against the Tesla Model Y, MG ZS EV, Skoda Enyaq, VW ID4, the Kia EV6, the Hyundai Ioniq. There's so many cars competing at a similar-ish price point to this. So have they done enough? With the fact that they've come so late to market, I don't think they have to blow the market away. However, here's the plus side. This is going to do well in the Irish market, I think. Anybody who's been driving for Toyotas for years will get into it and go, oh, this is all very familiar. It's very solid, it feels comfortable, there's nice weight in the steering wheel. And you know what? It could do really, really well if Toyota can get the numbers in and supply enough customers.